In this lesson I will show you how you easily can create scratches. And we can start right away. So to make a scratch we need some type of texture, and a noise texture will work very good for this. So press Shift A, go to texture and select noise texture. So we have that in. Connect that to our texture coordinate using the UV, and after that I can take the factor to the base color, but I would also like to have bumps in, so I add a vector bump, pressing Shift A, go to vector and bump here, and take the factor to the height, and I can take down the strength and distance a bit, and take the normal bump to normal of our principled. And if you go to rendered view, you can now see that we have a pattern here. It doesn't look like scratches right now, but we can create scratches rather easy with this noise texture. And what we can do here is play with the distortion. And if you change the distortion a little, you can see it's get these circular shapes here. If you take too much, it's just circles all over the place. But if you just use it a little bit, you can imagine that this distortion here will create like lines here that we later then can use to create our scratches. But still we need to take up the detail a bit. So just drag up the detail, and now you can see it gets a lot of small lines here. And you can also take up the roughness to make it even more rough like this. But now it more looks like a concrete stuff that you have done on the wall, and it doesn't look like scratches. So to make scratches we need to add a map range. So I will put that in after the factor here, so Shift A, converter, and I put in a map range like this. And I would like all the light stuff to be at the top and the dark at the bottom. And right now if I filter out, so I put this to like 0.6 or something like that, I get something that could be used as scratches, but as you can see it's like bumps that goes up, not down. So I inverse the to min and to max, so I put 1 here and I put 0 here. And now you can see it creates almost like scratches, and you can then play with the distortion, put up the roughness a bit. As you can see it changes how much it would be on those scratches, and you can play with the value here. If you take it to 0.7, almost everything is gone, but if you have 0.6 you might think that is too much. Then you can just put it to like 0.65, and then you have only a few marks left. So it's up to you how much you would like to use, but it works really good as do scratches. Right now we can see all the gray stuff, but that is just because we take the factor to the base color. If you then take the result to the base color, you only see the scratches here. So it looks fine, and it works really good on things like metal or flat surfaces that has been scratched like this. But if you work with like wood, where you have like a plank or something like that, you would like to have more straight scratches, but still some wood pattern on them. And that is easily done by adding a wave texture to this noise texture here. So all you do then is that you change this to 4D, and then we can put in a wave texture here. So Shift A, input, texture coordinate. No, sorry, we take that away and we do it again. Shift A, texture, and wave texture, of course. And then you just take the factor into the W here, and you can see that you get straight lines here, and you also get this wood pattern where you have these like circular shapes because of the distortion that you have here. So all we have to do now really is more or less to just divide this into planks. And I can use sine math to do that, because that's something we have not used yet. So then just press Shift A and put in a converter and a math. And change that math into sine, like this. And we also need to put in a multiply here. So just copy this one, press Shift D, and change this to multiply. And I will use the value from the multiply into the sine here. And the lower value here, I would like that to be the value of pi, meaning 3.14159 and so on. But I don't want to write it, I want Blender to tell the value of pi, and to do that I use a driver, which means that I start here, then I make this sign here, and in small letters I write P and I as in pi, and then just finished. And you get the value here. And together with that value, and if we use like the x-axis from the UV, we can get like a wave here, and I can show you how that works. So just split UV first, so Shift A, and then go to converter, separate XYZ, like this. And take the UV to the vector and put the X to the multiply here, and take the sine to the base color, so we get it like this. And now you can see it's dark on that side and it's dark on that side, so it's like a wave. So now all we have to do if we want two waves is to add another multiply that we control with the value here that we have for writing in how many planks we want. So take a copy of this sign, not the multiply here because it has a driver. So take this instead. Just Shift D, copy it here, put multiply, and then we need an input here. So Shift A, input value, like this. Select that, put it into this. And if I now write 2, you get 2, but this one is negative. So it's a wave that goes from 1 to -1, and 1 again, and -1, and 1. But if we convert the negative into a positive, we get 2. So we need to put in an extra absolute here that converts the negative into positive. So copy this, pressing Shift D, and change that to an absolute. So as soon as you do that, you change this into 2 nice planks. And we can put this to like 10, and then we have 10 planks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it works. However, it doesn't look really like planks, it looks more like cylinders. So we need to like flatten them out a bit. And we can use map range for that as well. So put in a map range after the absolute, Shift A, converter, map range. And just take down the max a bit, and you can see everything now flattens out in a good way. So we have it like this. Now, if I take away this from the base color, we only have the scratches, and we would like to have this as a bump as well. And it's very easy. We just have one map range here, and we have one map range here, and we need a minimum value from both. So we take away these a bit, and we take away that a bit, so I can go in and put this side by side, and we can take down the texture so we can make this a little bit bigger. So now we just put the minimum here, so Shift A, converter math, and change it to a minimum. You put the result here, and you put the result there, and you take this minimum to the height of the bump, and see if I do like this, and so, and drag this up. You can now now see that we have like sharp edges here. So what can we do? We can change this into smooth minimum, of course. So then we can play with this, but we can also play with the max and minimum value here. So by doing that, we can get something that looks rather good. And what I now would like to add as well is that these lines here are not so perfectly straight, because planks always have something that goes a little bit out and in and so on. And that's very easy, because this here is then changing the width. So we could just put in a noise here to make this go out and in a bit. So we do that. Shift A, and then we can use texture and noise. And if I just put it right in here to from max, you get a little bit too much. So we can put in a multiply to decrease this. So take a multiply, not the driver, take something else. So Shift D, put that in here. And now you can see when I put the 0.5, it gets smaller. So we can just take a smaller and smaller number here. And we can take up the scale a bit. So we get it something like that, perhaps more detail in, a little bit of roughness. So it looks a little bit more natural. So now we have lines that are not perfectly straight like this. So that is how we do it, and in the end all we have to do is add some columns to it as well, and that we can just take from the value here. So we can press Shift A, converter, color, and go to Mix RGB, put the value from a smooth minimum to the factor, take the mix out to the base color, and put one color at the top. That then controls the minimum value, which then are all the things that goes down. And for the main color, we can take something that is on top here. So then you can of course play with different types here if you want to make it smoother, and you can add noise color and so on. But just for this lesson, just to learn you how to do those scratches in an easy way, this is a way to do it. So hope you learned something in this lesson, and I will see you in the next. So I just say bye for now.